Have you noticed how quickly your heart assumes the worst whenever life grows quiet? Why do you keep believing that every unanswered prayer is proof that I have turned away from you? Why do you carry the weight of guilt as though heaven is still deciding whether you belong in my presence? Listen carefully, because what I am about to tell you has the power to change the way you walk through every waiting season from this day forward. Before another fear whispers your name, before another doubt builds a prison around your thoughts, before another night steals your peace, I want you to hear my voice above every other voice that has tried to define you. I am not speaking to condemn you. I am speaking to release you. The verdict that matters has already been declared, and no fear, no failure, no delay, and no accusation can rewrite what I have already spoken over your life. Do not rush past these words. Let them settle where your deepest worries have lived for far too long. You have spent countless days searching your own heart for reasons why your prayers seem delayed. You have replayed old mistakes until they became louder than my promises. You have examined every weakness, every failure, every moment you wish you could erase, believing that somewhere in heaven I must still be deciding whether you deserve my kindness. But I have not been sitting in silence because I was uncertain about you. My silence has never been the language of rejection. My timing has never been proof that my love has changed. My child, I have watched every tear you tried to hide from the people around you. I saw the nights when exhaustion became your closest companion. I heard the prayers you could no longer finish because disappointment stole the words from your mouth. Even when your lips were silent, your heart continued speaking, and not one cry escaped my attention. I counted every anxious breath. I remembered every moment when you almost gave up, but somehow chose to keep believing one more day. Do you truly think I would forget someone I formed with my own hands? Do you imagine that the one who knows the number of hairs upon your head suddenly became careless about your future? Never believe that lie again. There is another voice that has followed you for many years. It reminds you of every regret before reminding you of my grace. It rehearses your failures before allowing you to remember my mercy. It tells you that because the answer has not yet arrived, you must have disappointed me. It points toward your past and insists that your future cannot be different. It convinces you that your waiting is evidence against you, but that voice has never spoken with my authority. It is loud because fear repeats itself, not because fear tells the truth. I know how convincing those accusations have become. Sometimes they sound so familiar that you mistake them for your own thoughts. You wake in the morning already carrying yesterday's burdens. You measure yourself against impossible standards. You wonder whether you have prayed enough, served enough, believed enough, or trusted enough. Then when another day ends without the breakthrough you expected, you quietly assume the problem must be you. Yet I never asked you to build your identity on your own performance. I asked you to build your life upon my faithfulness. Remember this truth whenever doubt returns. My love for you was never purchased by your perfection, so it cannot be destroyed by your imperfection. I knew every chapter of your story before you lived your first day. I knew every struggle you would face, every temptation you would encounter, every weakness you would battle, and still, I chose to call you mine. If my decision depended upon your flawless performance, no one could stand before me, but my mercy reaches where your strength cannot. You have spent too much time standing in an imaginary courtroom inside your own mind. Every memory becomes another witness against you. Every disappointment becomes another piece of evidence. Every delay feels like another reason to believe that heaven is still undecided. But I'm telling you today that you have mistaken the hallway for the courtroom. You have confused the waiting room with the place where decisions are made. The decision about my love for you was settled long before today's problems ever appeared. When I look upon you, I do not see someone who must constantly earn another opportunity to receive my affection. I see someone I continue shaping, teaching, restoring, strengthening, and leading one faithful step at a time. Growth is not punishment. Waiting is not rejection. Discipline is not abandonment. Even the seasons you do not understand are held securely within my hands. Nothing surprises me. Nothing escapes my attention. Nothing has the authority to separate you from my presence when you continue walking with me. Stop measuring my heart by your circumstances. Circumstances change like the wind, but my character never changes. Some mornings the clouds seem heavy. Some evenings your questions remain unanswered. Some prayers take longer than you expected. Yet none of those moments have the power to rewrite my heart toward you. If my love depended on your circumstances, then storms would always have the final word. But storms do not write your future. I do. This is why I keep inviting you to trust me beyond what your eyes can currently see. Faith is not pretending the struggle is easy. Faith is choosing to believe my voice above your fear while you continue walking forward. Every step you take in trust weakens the grip of anxiety. Every moment you choose my truth over your doubts strengthens your heart for what is ahead. You are not walking alone through this season. I have been beside you from the beginning, and I will remain beside you until every purpose I have prepared for your life has been fulfilled. As you continue listening, do not leave these words behind when this moment ends. Carry them into tomorrow morning. Carry them into your workplace, your home, your conversations, your disappointments, and your prayers. The battle is not only against difficult circumstances, it is against believing lies about my heart. Once you begin seeing yourself through my eyes, instead of through your fears, you will discover a peace that no circumstance can steal. If these words are speaking directly to your heart today, type yes in the comments as your declaration that you choose to believe my truth instead of your fears. And stay with me until the very end of this message, because I am about to reveal truths that will help you walk through every season with greater peace, confidence, and hope. If these words have encouraged your heart, remember to like this video, subscribe, and share it with someone who needs this encouragement today. And if you feel blessed by what you are receiving and would like to help this ministry continue reaching more hearts with my word, you can support it through the link provided below. Your encouragement allows this message of hope to reach those who may feel forgotten, but whom I have never stopped loving. Do not mistake the silence around you for silence within heaven. There are moments when you look at your circumstances and conclude that because nothing has changed, nothing must be happening. Yet I have never stopped working simply because your eyes could not see my hands. I do not pause my purposes when your understanding reaches its limit. I do not abandon my plans because your patience has grown weary. Long before you noticed the delay, I had already prepared the answer according to a wisdom greater than your own. What you cannot yet see is not evidence that I have forgotten you. It is evidence that your story is still unfolding, and every chapter has its appointed place. Many times you have asked why the waiting feels so heavy. You have wondered why every sunrise seems to carry the same unanswered questions. You have searched for hidden reasons, believing there must be something you failed to do correctly. Your heart has become its own investigator, searching every memory for another mistake that might explain why life has become so difficult. But I never asked you to become an investigator of your failures. I called you to become a follower of my voice. My child, the burden you have been carrying was never meant to rest upon your shoulders. You have exhausted yourself trying to explain every delay. You have tried to calculate my timing according to your understanding. You have assumed that if you could only become better, stronger, wiser, or more faithful, then every door would immediately open. But your peace cannot be built upon achieving perfection. If your confidence depends on never making another mistake, you will spend every day fearing that one wrong step has ruined everything. That is not the freedom I came to give you. Look back over your journey. How many times did you believe everything was falling apart, only to discover later that I was quietly leading you somewhere better? How many disappointments eventually protected you from greater sorrow? How many closed doors prevented you from walking into places that would have stolen your peace? At the time, you called those moments setbacks. Today, you call many of them blessings in disguise. If I proved myself faithful then, why do you believe I have changed now? Fear always tells you to judge today's circumstances before tomorrow arrives. Faith invites you to trust the one who already stands in tomorrow. You only see the road directly beneath your feet. I see every mile ahead. I know every conversation you have not yet had. I know every opportunity still hidden beyond the horizon. I know every person whose life will intersect with yours at exactly the right time. I know every answer that is already moving toward you, even while you wonder if I have heard your prayer. The enemy delights in convincing you that waiting means losing. He whispers that because progress feels slow, your purpose must have disappeared. He wants you to believe that delays are evidence of defeat. But I tell you this, seeds do not stop growing simply because they remain beneath the soil. Roots develop long before fruit becomes visible. The strongest trees spend years strengthening what no one else can see. In the same way, I am building strength within you that circumstances alone could never produce. You often pray for greater faith, yet you become discouraged when faith requires trusting without immediate proof. You ask for endurance, but endurance grows through seasons that stretch your patience. You desire peace, but peace becomes strongest when it remains steady in uncertain moments. The very things you ask me to build within you often begin growing during the seasons you wish would end the fastest. Do not compare your journey with someone else's. Every life I create carries a different assignment. Some paths appear shorter, others seem longer. Some victories arrive quickly, others develop through years of quiet preparation. Comparison will always steal the gratitude that allows you to recognize my work in your own story. Instead of asking why another person's season looks different, ask me to help you recognize what I am accomplishing within yours. There is a freedom that arrives when you stop demanding that every answer appear according to your schedule. That freedom allows your heart to rest, even before circumstances change. It allows hope to remain alive while questions still exist. It allows joy to survive in places where fear once ruled. This is not pretending that pain does not exist. It is choosing to believe that my presence is greater than your pain. Remember that my promises are not weakened by the passing of time. Time changes people, but it does not change me. I remain faithful when emotions rise and fall. I remain constant when circumstances seem uncertain. I remain near when loneliness tells you otherwise. Even when your own heart questions everything around you, my heart toward you remains completely secure. Perhaps today you feel as though your prayers have reached a ceiling. Perhaps you have stopped expecting anything to change because disappointment has become familiar. But I invite you to lift your eyes again. Do not let yesterday's unanswered questions become tomorrow's expectations. I am able to do what fear insists is impossible. I can restore what seems beyond repair. I can strengthen what feels completely exhausted. I can open doors that no human effort could unlock. The greatest transformation often begins before circumstances ever change. It begins when your heart finally believes that I remain good, even while the outcome has not yet arrived. Once that foundation becomes secure, fear loses much of its influence. Anxiety no longer controls every decision. Doubt no longer defines every morning. Instead, confidence quietly begins growing where uncertainty once ruled. As you continue listening to my voice throughout this message, allow these truths to become part of the way you think each day. When fear tries to return with old accusations, answer it with my faithfulness instead of your feelings. When discouragement reminds you how long you have waited, remember how many times I have already carried you through impossible seasons. Every new day is another opportunity to trust me more deeply than you did yesterday. Do not allow temporary delays to become permanent conclusions. Your story is not finished. I have written chapters that you have not yet read. I have prepared blessings that you have not yet received. I have arranged moments of healing, restoration, wisdom, and unexpected joy that are still waiting along your path. Keep walking with me. Keep listening for my voice above every other voice competing for your attention. If you are choosing today to trust my timing instead of your fears, write, "I trust you," in the comments below. Let that declaration remind your own heart that hope is still alive. And stay with me until the end, because what I will reveal next will help you recognize the hidden ways I have been working in your life, even during the seasons when you believed nothing was happening. There are days when you believe you have exhausted every ounce of strength within you. You wake with determination, yet before the day has fully begun, the weight returns. Questions you thought you had surrendered quietly find their way back into your mind. You wonder whether you are growing or merely surviving. You wonder whether I still have a purpose for this season, or whether you have somehow wandered beyond the path I prepared for you. Listen to me with your whole heart, because what I speak now is meant to steady your soul when everything around you feels uncertain. I have never measured your future by your moments of weakness. I have always measured it according to my faithfulness. My plans for you have never depended upon your ability to carry yourself. They have always rested upon my ability to carry you. My child, I know what it feels like when hope becomes difficult to hold. I have watched you smile while carrying burdens no one else could see. I have seen you encourage others while quietly wondering who would encourage you. I have listened as you thanked me with your lips, even while your heart wrestled with questions you were afraid to speak aloud. None of that has offended me. I am not surprised by your struggles. I already knew every battle you would face before you ever stepped into this season. Yet my decision to remain beside you has never changed. Stop believing that I only walk closely with those who appear strong. Some of my deepest work happens in lives that feel the weakest. When your own strength reaches its limit, you finally begin leaning upon mine. That is not failure. That is the beginning of a deeper dependence that produces lasting peace. The world teaches you to rely upon yourself, but I teach you to rely upon me. The world says your value is measured by constant success, but I tell you that your value was established long before your first achievement. Many people spend their lives trying to earn approval they have already been offered by me. They work endlessly to prove they are worthy. They compare themselves with others. They chase recognition that disappears almost as quickly as it arrives. Yet none of those things can satisfy the hunger I created within the human heart. Only my presence can quiet that longing. Only my truth can silence the fear that whispers you are never enough. You have carried expectations that I never placed upon you. Somewhere along your journey, you began believing that every mistake pushed you farther away from me. You assumed that every delay meant my disappointment had grown larger. But my love has never moved closer because of your success or farther because of your failure. My love remains steady because it flows from who I am, not from what you accomplish. Think about a shepherd caring for his sheep. Does he abandon the one that grows tired? Does he refuse to carry the one that stumbles? No. His compassion becomes even more visible when the sheep can no longer continue alone. In the same way, I have carried you through moments you barely remember surviving. There were days when you believed your faith was disappearing. Yet, I held on to you, even when you struggled to hold on to me. Your security has never rested entirely in the strength of your grip upon me. It rests in the certainty of my grip upon you. Do not allow regret to become your permanent companion. Learn from yesterday, but do not live inside it. Regret was never intended to become your identity. I forgive, so that you may move forward, not so you may continually return to the place where grace has already done its work. Every time you insist on remaining where I have already forgiven you, you rob yourself of the freedom I desire for you to experience. There are blessings ahead that require you to release old accusations. There are opportunities prepared for you that fear keeps trying to convince you are impossible. There are relationships I desire to strengthen, doors I desire to open, wisdom I desire to give, and peace I desire to establish. But you cannot fully embrace what I am placing before you while constantly staring behind you at what I have already redeemed. Lift your eyes higher than your circumstances. Every mountain appears overwhelming when you stare only at its height, but mountains look very different when viewed from my perspective. I know every path through them. I know every place where strength will be renewed. I know every unexpected provision waiting along the journey. Nothing about your present situation has caught me by surprise. Do not confuse slow progress with the absence of progress. Rivers shape mountains not through force in a single day, but through faithful movement over time. Likewise, I am shaping your character through daily moments that may seem ordinary. Every prayer offered in faith matters. Every act of obedience matters. Every decision to forgive instead of becoming bitter matters. Every time you choose hope over despair, something within you becomes stronger than it was before. One day you will look back upon this season with different eyes. You will recognize how many dangers I quietly turned away. You will see answers that were developing while you believed nothing was happening. You will understand why certain doors remained closed and why others eventually opened. Until that day arrives, trust the one who already sees the completed picture. The peace I offer is not reserved for people whose lives have become perfect. It is available to those who choose to place their confidence in me while life remains unfinished. That peace will guard your heart when fear knocks upon your door. It will steady your thoughts when uncertainty surrounds you. It will remind you that your future is held securely in hands that never fail. Do not let today's emotions become tomorrow's beliefs. Feelings rise and fall, but my word remains unshaken. When your heart feels uncertain, return to what I have already spoken. Let my promises become louder than your fears. Feed your faith more often than you feed your worries. Spend more time remembering my faithfulness than rehearsing your disappointments. The direction of your thoughts will influence the direction of your life. As this message continues, remain attentive, because I am leading you toward a deeper freedom than you have known before. I am not merely changing the way you think. I am transforming the foundation upon which you stand. A heart anchored in my truth cannot be easily shaken by changing circumstances. Storms may still come, but they will no longer define your identity or determine your peace. If today you are choosing to release yesterday and trust me with tomorrow, write, "I belong to God," in the comments below. Let those words become your declaration of faith. Stay with me until the end of this journey, because the truths still ahead will help you recognize my hand even in the seasons when it seems hidden, and they will strengthen your heart to walk forward with greater confidence than ever before. Lift your eyes for a moment and listen carefully. You have spent too much time measuring your future by what you can see today. You have looked at closed doors and assumed they would never open. You have counted the days of waiting and wondered whether your prayers have become too quiet for me to hear. But I do not measure your life by calendars, deadlines, or human expectations. I measure it by my eternal purpose, and that purpose has not changed because one season has become difficult. My child, there are blessings I have prepared that could never be appreciated without the journey you are walking now. I know that is not always easy to accept. When your heart is weary, you naturally long for immediate answers. When your strength begins to fade, you wish every burden would disappear at once. Yet there is a quiet work that takes place while you continue trusting me, even when the road ahead seems uncertain. Every act of faith shapes your character. Every decision to forgive softens your heart. Every moment you choose hope instead of despair strengthens your spirit for what lies ahead. Do not believe the lie that you have fallen behind my plan. I am not surprised by the twists in your journey. The places where you stumbled did not cause me to abandon my purpose for your life. Even your mistakes have become opportunities for my mercy to shine more brightly. I am able to redeem what you thought was wasted. I can restore years that seemed lost and bring beauty from circumstances that once appeared broken beyond repair. Many people think my work is only visible when miracles happen suddenly. They celebrate dramatic moments and overlook the quiet transformations taking place every day. Yet some of my greatest miracles happen inside the human heart. When bitterness becomes forgiveness, that is my work. When fear gives way to trust, that is my work. When someone who once lived without hope begins to believe again, that is my work. Never underestimate what I am accomplishing within you, simply because it cannot yet be measured by outward success. Remember how often I have carried you through seasons you never imagined surviving. There were nights when sleep would not come because anxiety filled your mind. There were mornings when you questioned whether you had the strength to keep moving forward. Yet here you are. You may not feel as strong as you wish, but you are still standing because I have been faithful every step of the way. I do not ask you to pretend that pain does not exist. I invite you to bring every burden into my presence. Speak honestly with me. Pour out your fears. Share your disappointments. I already know what is hidden in your heart, and my love is never threatened by your honesty. Real faith is not hiding your struggles. Real faith is bringing them to me and believing that I will meet you there. There will always be voices trying to convince you that your future is limited by your past. The world often remembers your failures longer than your victories. People may define you by one difficult chapter, but I see the complete story I am writing. I know how it begins, and I know how it ends. I am still writing chapters filled with grace, wisdom, growth, and unexpected joy. Do not become discouraged if your progress feels slow. A craftsman shaping something precious does not rush the process. Every careful movement has purpose. In the same way, I am forming qualities within you that cannot be produced overnight. Patience, humility, compassion, courage, and steadfast faith grow through daily dependence upon me. These treasures will remain long after temporary circumstances have passed away. Keep your heart open to gratitude, even during seasons of waiting. Gratitude reminds you that my faithfulness has already appeared in countless ways. Think of the prayers I have answered, the dangers I have quietly prevented, the people I have placed in your path, and the strength I have supplied exactly when you needed it. The more you remember my faithfulness, the easier it becomes to trust me with tomorrow. You are not called to carry tomorrow's burdens today. Receive the grace I provide for this moment. Walk faithfully through the opportunities I place before you today. Love those around you today. Pray today. Trust today. When tomorrow arrives, my grace will already be waiting there. I have never asked you to live several days at once. I simply invite you to walk with me one step at a time. As you continue this journey, refuse to let disappointment become the lens through which you interpret everything else. Let my promises shape your expectations instead. Let my character become the foundation of your confidence. I have never stopped working for your good, even when my work has remained hidden from your eyes. The road ahead may still contain challenges, but it also contains my presence. You do not walk toward uncertainty alone. You walk with the one who holds eternity in his hands. I will continue leading you, strengthening you, correcting you when necessary, comforting you when you are weary, and reminding you again and again that my love for you remains steadfast. So as you leave this moment and continue with your day, choose to carry hope instead of fear. Speak words of faith instead of surrendering to despair. Remember that I am with you in ordinary moments, just as surely as I am with you during extraordinary ones. My presence is not reserved for mountaintop experiences. It is with you in the quiet routines, the unseen struggles, and the faithful steps that no one else notices. If this message has encouraged your heart today, comment, "The Lord is leading me." Let those words be a declaration that you are choosing to trust my guidance one step at a time, and continue watching, because there is still more I desire to reveal that will strengthen your faith, deepen your peace, and help you recognize my hand in every season of your life. Listen to me for a little longer, because there is something your heart has been longing to understand. You have often asked why the journey has taken longer than you expected. You have wondered why certain prayers seem to rise into the heavens without an immediate answer. There were moments when you believed that if I truly saw your tears, everything would have changed by now. But I want you to know something that fear has tried to hide from you. I have never confused your waiting with my absence. I have never mistaken your weakness for failure. I have never looked upon your struggles and decided that you were beyond my care. From the first moment you called upon my name until this very day, my eyes have remained upon you. Even when you could not recognize my hand was still leading you. My child, there are seasons when I work quietly beneath the surface because I care more about the condition of your heart than the speed of your circumstances. If I answered every prayer the moment it was spoken, you might celebrate the gift while never learning to know the giver more deeply. I desire more than your temporary comfort. I desire a relationship that remains strong through every season. I want your confidence to rest in my character, not merely in the blessings I place within your hands. Blessings are wonderful, but they are never meant to replace my presence. The greatest treasure I offer has always been myself. Do not be discouraged, because your path has included unexpected turns. Roads often appear confusing when viewed from the middle of the journey. A traveler standing in the valley cannot always understand why the path bends around the mountain. Yet the one who designed the road sees every curve, every hill, every bridge, and every destination. I have never asked you to understand everything before trusting me. I have simply invited you to keep walking with me, knowing that my wisdom reaches far beyond what your eyes can presently see. There are burdens you were never created to carry alone. You have tried to hold tomorrow's worries while still carrying yesterday's disappointments, and now your heart feels exhausted. Lay those burdens before me. You do not honor me by pretending to be stronger than you are. You honor me by trusting that my strength is greater than your weakness. Every time you surrender another fear into my hands, you make room for my peace to settle more deeply within your soul. Think about the many times I have already proven my faithfulness. There were answers you never expected. There were opportunities that appeared at precisely the right moment. There were dangers you never even knew I protected you from. There were conversations that changed the direction of your life. There were people I placed beside you when you needed encouragement the most. Those moments were not accidents. They were reminders that I have always been actively involved in your story. The enemy would rather have you focus only on what has not happened yet. He wants your attention fixed upon every unanswered question until gratitude slowly disappears from your heart. But gratitude opens your eyes to my ongoing work. When you begin remembering my past faithfulness, hope grows stronger for the future. Your confidence becomes rooted not in wishful thinking, but in the evidence of my unchanging character. I was faithful yesterday. I am faithful today. I will remain faithful tomorrow. Do not fear the future simply because it remains unknown to you. Unknown does not mean uncontrolled. Hidden does not mean forgotten. Every day that has not yet arrived already rests within my hands. I know the conversations you will have next month. I know the opportunities that are approaching. I know the challenges that may arise. and I have already prepared grace sufficient for each one. You never enter a single day without my presence arriving there before you. Guard your heart against becoming impatient with yourself. Growth often happens so gradually that you fail to recognize it until you look back. You may still notice imperfections, but you are not the same person you once were. You have become more compassionate because of your suffering. You have become more patient because of your waiting. You have become more dependent upon me because your own strength proved insufficient. These are not signs that you have failed. They are signs that my work continues within you. Do not allow comparison to steal the joy I am cultivating in your life. I have written a unique story for every person who follows me. Some journeys include long seasons of preparation. Others move quickly into new opportunities. Neither path is greater than the other. What matters is faithfulness. Continue walking the path I have placed before you, and do not become distracted by the pace of someone else's journey. There will come a day when you understand why certain answers took longer than you desired. Until then, choose trust over suspicion. Believe that my heart toward you is good, even when your understanding remains incomplete. I am not asking you to ignore reality. I am asking you to remember that my reality is greater than the circumstances standing before you. Nothing is impossible for me. No broken situation is beyond my ability to redeem. No wounded heart is beyond my ability to heal. As this message continues in the days ahead, keep returning to these truths. Let them become the foundation beneath your thoughts. When anxiety tries to rise again, answer it with my faithfulness. When discouragement whispers that nothing will ever change, remember how many times I have already carried you through impossible moments. The same God who sustained you yesterday remains with you today. If these words have strengthened your faith, type Amen in the comments as your declaration that you are placing your trust in me. Stay with me until the end of this journey, because each message is building upon the last, preparing your heart to walk with greater confidence, deeper peace, and unwavering hope. And if these messages are blessing your life, please take a moment to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with someone who may need this encouragement today. If you feel led to help this ministry continue reaching hearts with messages of faith and hope, you can also support it through the link provided below. Your support helps these words reach people who are searching for comfort, truth, and the assurance of my unfailing love. Above all, keep your heart open, because I am still speaking, still guiding, and still working in ways greater than you can yet imagine. Before the sun rises tomorrow, before another responsibility asks for your attention, before the noise of the world begins pulling your thoughts in every direction, I want you to remember one simple truth. I have already gone before you. There is not a single moment waiting for you that I have not already seen. There is not one conversation, one decision, one challenge, or one unexpected turn that catches me by surprise. While you are wondering how everything will unfold, I am already present in the tomorrow you have not yet reached. That is why you do not have to surrender your peace to uncertainty. Your future is unknown to you, but it has never been unknown to me. My child, there are mornings when you wake carrying questions that followed you through the night. You try to silence them, yet they continue whispering, asking whether everything will work out, whether your family will be safe, whether your prayers will be answered, whether you will ever experience the breakthrough you have long desired. I understand every one of those questions. I do not turn away from them, and I do not grow impatient with your searching heart. Instead, I gently remind you that the safest place for your questions is not inside fear, but inside my presence. Bring them to me. Lay them before me. You do not need to carry them alone. Do not spend your strength trying to control what belongs in my hands. Many of the burdens weighing upon you today are burdens you were never meant to manage by yourself. You have replayed conversations that have not happened. You have worried about outcomes that have not arrived. You have imagined difficulties that may never come. While your mind has been running ahead into tomorrow, your heart has been missing the grace I have already placed within today. Return your attention to this moment. I have given you enough strength for today's assignment. Tomorrow's strength will arrive with tomorrow's grace. Remember how often I have provided exactly what you needed when you believed there was no way forward. You have seen unexpected kindness appear through people you never expected to help you. You have watched impossible situations begin changing one small step at a time. You have discovered peace during seasons that should have overwhelmed you. Those moments were not coincidences. They were reminders that my faithfulness is not limited by your circumstances. I can make a way where none seems visible. I can provide wisdom when confusion surrounds you. I can bring hope into places that appear completely empty. Many people believe courage means never feeling afraid, but true courage is choosing to keep trusting even when fear tries to speak louder than faith. Every time you decide to believe my promises instead of your doubts, you take another step toward the life I desire for you. Courage does not remove every obstacle. It changes the way you walk through them because you know you are not walking alone. There will always be reasons to become discouraged if you build your confidence upon changing circumstances. One day may bring celebration, while the next may bring disappointment. But when your confidence is rooted in my unchanging character, storms lose their power to define your identity. They may still shake the branches, but they cannot uproot the tree whose roots reach deeply into the source of living water. I know there have been moments when you questioned your own progress. You wondered whether you were growing or simply repeating the same struggles. Growth is not always dramatic. Sometimes it appears in the quiet decisions no one else notices. It appears when you choose forgiveness instead of bitterness. It appears when you speak words of hope instead of despair. It appears when you continue praying after many silent days. It appears when you choose compassion after being hurt. These quiet victories are precious in my sight because they reveal a heart that is becoming more like mine. Do not overlook the importance of small acts of faithfulness. The world often celebrates what is large and visible, but I also delight in what is humble and hidden. A kind word spoken at the right moment, a prayer whispered with sincere faith, a hand extended to someone who feels forgotten, a decision to obey even when no one else notices. These moments become part of a life that reflects my love to the world around you. As you continue walking with me, guard your heart from believing that you must have every answer before taking the next step. If I revealed every detail of your future today, you would be tempted to depend upon information instead of depending upon me. Instead, I invite you into a relationship where trust grows stronger one day at a time. Every step you take with me prepares you for the next one. You do not need to see the entire path to know that I am leading you. Never forget that your value does not rise and fall with your accomplishments. The world may applaud success one day and ignore it the next, but my love remains constant. I do not call you precious because you have achieved perfection. I call you precious because I created you with purpose, redeemed you through my grace, and continue shaping you into the person I designed you to become. There will come a day when many of today's unanswered questions will no longer trouble your heart. You will see my faithfulness woven through events that once seemed confusing. Until then, continue trusting my wisdom. Continue seeking my presence more than temporary certainty. Continue believing that I am working, even when you cannot yet see the results. My plans for you are not interrupted by delays, and my love for you is never diminished by difficult seasons. As these messages continue, let them become more than words you hear. Let them become truths you practice. Begin each morning by remembering that I am with you. End each evening by thanking me for the ways I sustained you throughout the day. Little by little, you will discover that peace grows strongest in hearts that continually return to my presence. If these words have encouraged you today, write God is my strength in the comments below. Let that declaration remind both your heart and someone else who reads it that true strength is found in trusting me. Continue watching until the end of this series, because each message is preparing you to walk with greater confidence, deeper faith, and lasting peace as you discover more fully the life I have lovingly prepared for you. Pause for a moment and allow your heart to become still before me. The world has taught you that peace comes only when every problem has been solved, every question has been answered, and every dream has been fulfilled. But I have come to teach you a deeper truth. Peace is not something you discover at the end of your journey. It is something I place within you while you are still walking through it. If your peace depends upon perfect circumstances, it will disappear whenever life becomes uncertain. But if your peace is rooted in my presence, no storm will be able to steal what I have planted inside your heart. My child, I know there have been moments when you felt surrounded by uncertainty. You smiled for others while quietly wondering how much longer you could carry what no one else could see. You tried to remain hopeful, but disappointment whispered that perhaps nothing would ever change. Yet even in those moments when your faith felt small, I never measured you by the size of your fear. I looked instead at your willingness to keep coming back to me. Every prayer you offered, every tear you shed, every quiet decision to trust again mattered more than you realized. Do not underestimate the power of returning to me each day. The strongest trees do not become strong because of one day of rain. They become strong because they continue drawing nourishment day after day. In the same way, your soul grows stronger every time you spend time in my presence. One prayer may seem small. One act of gratitude may appear insignificant. One passage of scripture may not seem enough to change your circumstances. Yet these daily moments become the roots that keep your heart steady when powerful winds begin to blow. There are voices around you that constantly demand your attention. Some tell you that you are not enough. Others insist that you have already missed your opportunity. Still others try to convince you that your future will always resemble your past. But my voice speaks differently. I remind you that my grace is new every morning. I remind you that my mercy has not reached its limit. I remind you that I am still writing your story, and no chapter of disappointment has the authority to become the final page. Do not become discouraged, because growth sometimes feels slow. Seeds hidden beneath the soil may appear lifeless to those who cannot see beneath the surface. Yet life is quietly developing where no human eye can observe it. Likewise, I am working within your heart in ways that may not yet be visible. Your compassion is growing. Your wisdom is increasing. Your dependence upon me is becoming deeper. These changes may seem invisible today, but they will become evident in the way you respond to tomorrow's challenges. I also want you to remember that kindness has great power. The world often celebrates dramatic achievements, but never overlook the quiet influence of a gentle spirit. A word of encouragement offered to someone who feels forgotten can change the direction of an entire day. A simple act of forgiveness can break the cycle of bitterness. A patient response can calm a situation that anger would have made worse. When you allow my love to flow through your life in ordinary moments, you become a light that points others toward hope. Guard your heart against becoming hardened by disappointment. Pain has a way of tempting people to build walls around themselves. They stop trusting. They stop hoping. They stop expecting goodness because they fear being hurt again. But I did not create your heart to live behind walls of fear. I created it to experience my love and to reflect that love toward others. Healing often begins when you choose to trust me enough to let me restore the places that have become wounded. There will be times when answers arrive differently than you expected. Do not mistake a different answer for the absence of my care. My wisdom reaches beyond what you can currently understand. I always see the complete picture, while you see only the piece directly in front of you. Because I love you completely, I will never give you something that ultimately leads you away from the purpose I have prepared for your life. Even when my answer is different from your expectation, my heart toward you remains filled with compassion. Keep your eyes open for the small reminders of my faithfulness each day. Notice the strength I provide when you thought you had none left. Notice the encouragement that arrives through a conversation, a verse of scripture, or an unexpected act of kindness. Notice the peace that quietly settles into your heart after you have spent time with me. These moments are invitations to remember that I have never left your side. Do not allow tomorrow's uncertainties to steal today's opportunities. Love your family well. Encourage your friends. Serve faithfully where I have placed you. Be generous with your words. Be patient with those who are struggling. Walk humbly, knowing that every act of obedience becomes part of the testimony I am writing through your life. Great purpose is often fulfilled through ordinary faithfulness. As this journey continues, keep choosing to bring your attention back to me whenever fear tries to distract you. The more you focus on my character, the less power anxiety will have over your thoughts. My faithfulness has never failed, and it never will. I will continue leading you one step at a time, providing what you need for each season, strengthening you when you grow weary, and reminding you that your hope is secure because it rests in me. If these words have spoken to your heart today, comment, "My hope is in the Lord." Let that declaration strengthen your own faith and encourage someone else who may be reading. Stay with me until the end of this series, because there are still truths ahead that will help you walk with greater courage, deeper trust, and lasting confidence in my unfailing love. Take a slow moment with me and let your heart become quiet. You have spent so much energy trying to predict what tomorrow will bring that you have almost forgotten the gift I have placed within today. I did not create you to live as a prisoner of endless what-if questions. I created you to walk with me, one faithful step at a time. Every day you awaken is another invitation to experience my grace in a fresh way. Do not overlook today's mercies while searching only for tomorrow's answers. I am present in this very moment, and I desire to meet you here before you concern yourself with what has not yet arrived. My child, I know there are places in your heart that still ache. Some disappointments have lingered longer than you expected. Some prayers remain unanswered in the way you imagined. Some relationships have left wounds that still feel tender whenever you remember them. I do not ask you to pretend those hurts never happened. I ask you to place them into my hands again. Healing is not always instant, but every time you entrust your pain to me instead of allowing it to shape your identity, you take another step toward freedom. There is a difference between remembering your past and allowing your past to rule your future. The lessons you have learned are valuable, but the fear they created does not have to remain. I am able to redeem what was broken. I am able to teach you through every season without allowing that season to become your permanent home. Do not build your expectations around yesterday's disappointments. Build them upon my unchanging character. I have never stopped being good simply because life has been difficult. Many people wait for confidence to appear before they move forward. But confidence often grows after obedience, not before it. Think about the times you took a small step of faith, even while your heart trembled. You prayed despite your doubts. You forgave even though it was painful. You continued serving even when you felt unnoticed. Those moments strengthened your spirit far more than you realized. Faith matures each time it is exercised. Continue trusting me in the little things, and you will discover strength for the greater things that lie ahead. Do not let discouragement convince you that small beginnings have no value. A river begins with small streams. A harvest begins with a seed. A mighty oak begins as an acorn. In the same way, many of the greatest works I accomplish begin with simple acts of faithfulness. Never despise the quiet season of preparation. I often use hidden seasons to prepare hearts for visible opportunities. What feels ordinary today may become the foundation for something extraordinary tomorrow. Keep your heart free from bitterness. Bitterness promises protection, but it quietly steals joy. Forgiveness does not mean pretending that wrong never happened. It means choosing not to allow another person's actions to become the prison that holds your own heart captive. When you release those who have wounded you into my hands, you are not declaring that what they did was right. You are declaring that you trust me to be just while you remain free to walk in peace. Remember also to be patient with yourself. You sometimes expect instant transformation, yet you readily extend patience to others who are growing. Show yourself the same grace that I continually pour over your life. Growth is a journey. There will be victories to celebrate and lessons to learn. Do not become discouraged because you are still learning. Every sincere step toward me matters. Every day you choose my ways over your own desires is evidence that my spirit continues working within you. Lift your thoughts above the voices that constantly demand your attention. News may change every hour. Opinions may shift from one day to the next. Circumstances may rise and fall without warning, but my truth remains steady. Anchor your heart in what does not change. When uncertainty surrounds you, return to my word. When confusion clouds your thinking, seek my wisdom before seeking the approval of the crowd. My voice brings clarity where fear brings confusion. There are people I will place in your path who need the hope I have been building within you. The comfort you have received will one day become comfort you are able to offer someone else. The lessons learned through your waiting will strengthen another person who feels like giving up. Nothing I teach you is wasted. Every season becomes part of the testimony I am preparing through your life. Remain available to me, and I will use even your deepest trials to reveal my compassion to others. Do not fear that you have missed my calling. As long as you continue seeking me with a willing heart, I am able to guide your steps. I do not lead only through dramatic moments. Often I lead through daily faithfulness, quiet conviction, open doors, wise counsel, and the peace I place within your heart. Stay close to me, and I will direct your path one step at a time. You do not need to know every detail of the journey to trust the one who leads it. As this series continues, allow these truths to become more than comforting words. Put them into practice. Begin each morning by thanking me for the gift of another day. Throughout the day, pause to remember that I am with you. Before you rest each evening, reflect on the ways I have carried you. A heart that continually returns to gratitude will discover a deeper peace than circumstances alone can ever provide. If these words have encouraged you today, comment, "The Lord is my peace." Let your declaration encourage someone else who may be searching for hope. Stay with me until the end of this journey, because I still have more to reveal about living with confidence, walking in faith, and discovering the unshakable peace that comes from trusting me with every part of your life. Lift your heart toward me again, because I want to remind you of something that your worries have tried to make you forget. You are not walking through this season by accident. The road beneath your feet did not appear without my knowledge, nor did the challenges before you arrive without my permission. Even when the path seems unfamiliar, I remain the shepherd who knows every step before it is taken. I have not called you to walk by certainty. I have called you to walk by faith, and faith becomes stronger every time it chooses my voice over the noise of fear. Do not believe that because you cannot see the destination, you have somehow wandered beyond my care. I have never lost sight of you, and I never will. My child, I know there are days when your own thoughts become your greatest battle. The world around you may be quiet, yet inside your heart there is a storm of questions. You wonder if you are making the right decisions. You question whether you have waited too long. You replay conversations, wishing you had spoken differently. You carry responsibilities that seem heavier than your strength can bear. Yet I want you to understand this today. Your mind was never created to become a prison of endless worry. I created it to be renewed by my truth. Every time you return your thoughts to my promises, you loosen the grip that fear has tried to place upon your heart. You have often asked me for a sign that I am still with you. Sometimes you expected that sign to come through dramatic changes or miraculous events. Yet many of my reminders are found in quiet places. They appear in the peace that gently settles over your heart after prayer. They appear in the strength you discover when you thought you had nothing left to give. They appear in the unexpected encouragement that arrives through a friend, a scripture, or a moment of stillness. Never underestimate these quiet reminders. They are my gentle way of assuring you that I have not stepped away from your life. Do not measure my presence by your emotions alone. Feelings are real, but they are not always reliable. There will be mornings when joy fills your heart, and there will be evenings when weariness clouds your vision. Neither of those moments changes who I am. I remain faithful when you feel strong, and I remain faithful when you feel weak. My promises are not built upon the shifting foundation of emotion. They are established upon my eternal character, which never changes. There are people around you who are quietly watching the way you live. They notice how you respond during difficult seasons. They observe whether hope remains in your words when circumstances become challenging. They may never tell you how much your faith has encouraged them, but your quiet trust becomes a testimony they cannot ignore. Continue walking faithfully. Continue speaking words that bring life instead of despair. Continue showing kindness even when it is not returned. Through these ordinary choices, my light shines into places that desperately need hope. I also want to teach you the beauty of contentment. Contentment is not settling for less than my promises. It is learning to recognize my goodness, even while you continue praying for more. A grateful heart is able to celebrate today's blessings without abandoning tomorrow's hopes. It sees my hand in small mercies as well as great miracles. It understands that every breath, every sunrise, every opportunity to love, forgive, and serve is itself a gift from me. Guard your heart from becoming distracted by constant comparison. The path I have prepared for you is unique because the purpose I have given you is unique. Someone else's blessings do not diminish the blessings I have prepared for your life. Their season is not your season, and your story is not theirs. Keep your eyes upon me instead of measuring your journey against another person's progress. When you focus on my direction, you will discover peace that comparison can never provide. Do not be afraid to begin again when necessary. Some people believe starting over means they have failed. I see it differently. Every new beginning is another opportunity to experience my grace. If you have stumbled, rise again. If you have grown weary, rest in my presence and continue forward. If you have lost confidence, allow my truth to rebuild what fear has tried to tear down. My mercy does not grow weary of restoring those who continue seeking me. Remember also that love remains the greatest evidence of my work within your life. Knowledge has value. Success has value. Gifts and abilities have value. But without love, none of these fulfill the purpose for which I created you. Love those who are difficult to love. Pray for those who misunderstand you. Encourage those who feel forgotten. Forgive those who have wounded you. In doing these things, you reflect my heart to a world that desperately needs compassion. As you continue moving forward, resist the temptation to believe that every difficult season must end before joy can begin. Joy is not postponed until every prayer has been answered. Joy grows wherever my presence is welcomed. Even in challenging times, you can experience peace because I am near. Even in uncertainty, you can remain hopeful because my plans are trustworthy. Even in weakness, you can find strength because my power is made perfect where human strength reaches its end. Take time each day to quiet your heart before me. Put aside distractions, even if only for a few moments. Let my word fill your thoughts before the world's opinions fill your mind. Speak with me honestly. Listen patiently. The relationship we share grows stronger, not through hurried moments, but through faithful, daily fellowship. The more time you spend in my presence, the more clearly you will recognize my guidance throughout every part of your life. Do not lose heart, because the journey still continues. I am not finished shaping you. Every lesson has purpose. Every season carries meaning. Every step taken in faith brings you closer to the person I created you to become. Continue trusting me when the path is clear, and continue trusting me when it is hidden. My hand will remain upon you, my wisdom will guide you, and my love will never fail you. If these words have strengthened your spirit today, comment, "Jesus is my hope." Let your declaration encourage someone else who may be struggling. Stay with me until the end of this series, because there are still important truths ahead that will deepen your faith, strengthen your heart, and help you walk each day with unwavering confidence in my everlasting love. Come closer and listen with a heart that is willing to receive. You have carried enough burdens trying to understand everything before trusting me. You have searched for certainty in places that could never satisfy your soul. You have looked for peace in changing circumstances, hoping that the next answer, the next opportunity, or the next breakthrough would finally quiet the unrest within you. Yet I want to show you something greater today. The deepest peace does not begin when every question disappears. It begins when your heart decides that my presence is enough to sustain you through every unanswered question. I have not invited you into a life without challenges. I have invited you into a life where my presence becomes greater than every challenge you will ever face. My child, I know how easy it is to become weary when the road feels long. There are mornings when you wake with determination, only to find yourself fighting the same fears before the day has fully begun. There are evenings when you wonder whether the small steps you are taking truly matter. Let me remind you that nothing done in faith is ever wasted. Every prayer spoken with sincerity, every act of kindness offered without expecting recognition, every decision to forgive when your heart wanted to hold on to resentment, every moment you chose hope instead of despair. These are precious in my sight. They are shaping a life that reflects my heart, even when you cannot yet see the full result. Do not allow the pace of your journey to discourage you. The world celebrates quick success, but I delight in faithful endurance. A foundation that will support great things must first be built with care. The strongest homes are not the ones finished the fastest, but the ones built upon solid ground. In the same way, I am building your life upon a foundation that can withstand the storms of every season. What I establish within you will remain long after temporary victories have faded. Remember that I see the battles no one else knows about. I know the prayers you whisper while driving to work. I know the concerns you carry for your family. I know the private disappointments you rarely mention because you fear no one would understand. Nothing about your life is hidden from me. You never have to convince me to care about you. My compassion has always been present, even before you found the words to ask for my help. There will always be moments when the future feels uncertain. In those moments, resist the temptation to let fear become your guide. Fear only sees what could go wrong. Faith remembers who was walking beside you. Fear magnifies obstacles. Faith magnifies my faithfulness. Fear whispers that you are alone. Faith reminds you that I have promised never to leave you nor forsake you. Each day, you have a choice about which voice you will allow to shape your thinking. Choose the voice that leads you toward hope, courage, and trust. Do not overlook the people I have placed around you. Some are there to encourage you. Others are there to teach you patience, humility, or compassion. Every relationship carries an opportunity to grow in love. Be generous with your words. Speak life into those who are discouraged. Offer forgiveness freely. Extend grace as I have extended grace to you. When you become a source of encouragement for others, you often discover that your own heart is strengthened in the process. I also want you to guard your time carefully. The hours I have given you are gifts. Fill them with things that draw you closer to me rather than farther away. Spend time in my word. Spend time in prayer. Spend time loving those I have entrusted to your care. The habits you build today become the character you carry tomorrow. Small daily choices shape the direction of your life far more than occasional dramatic moments. Do not believe that your usefulness depends upon being perfect. I have always worked through ordinary people who were willing to trust me. I used shepherds, fishermen, servants, widows, and people who felt inadequate in their own strength. Their power did not come from themselves. It came from their willingness to place their lives into my hands. The same invitation remains before you today. You do not need extraordinary ability to be used by me. You simply need a willing heart. There are blessings ahead that will require the wisdom you are gaining during this season. If everything had happened according to your original timetable, you might have received the blessing before you were prepared to steward it well. My timing is never meant to frustrate you. It is meant to prepare you. Trust that I know not only what you need, but also when you will be ready to receive it. My delays are never empty. They are filled with purpose, even when that purpose remains hidden for a time. Continue to cultivate gratitude. Every day contains evidence of my goodness if you are willing to look for it. The breath in your lungs, the strength to rise again, the opportunity to love another person, the beauty of creation, the comfort of my promises. These are reminders that my care surrounds you continually. Gratitude will not remove every challenge, but it will keep your heart from becoming consumed by them. As you move forward, remember this truth above all. Your identity is not found in your achievements, your possessions, your reputation, or the opinions of others. Your identity is found in the relationship we share. When you know who you are in me, you no longer need to chase the approval of the world. You become free to love, to serve, to forgive, and to walk confidently because your worth is anchored in something eternal. Do not stop seeking me. Every day you spend in my presence will strengthen you for the journey ahead. Keep your heart open. Keep your eyes fixed on me. Keep your hands ready to serve. I will continue guiding your steps, renewing your strength, and filling your life with purpose that extends far beyond what you can currently imagine. The road ahead is still unfolding, but you do not walk it alone. I am with you in every season, every victory, every challenge, and every quiet moment in between. If this message has encouraged your heart today, comment, "I will trust the Lord." Let your words become a declaration of faith and a source of encouragement for someone else who may be reading. And if these messages have been a blessing to you, please like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with someone who needs hope today. If you feel led to support this ministry so that more people can hear messages of faith and encouragement, you can do so through the link provided below. Thank you for walking through this journey with me. Stay until the very end of this series, because the truths still to come will continue to strengthen your faith, renew your hope, and remind you that my love for you remains steadfast forever. There is something I want you to understand before you take another step forward. The world will often tell you that your worth is measured by what you accomplish, by how many people admire you, by how quickly you reach your goals, or by how perfectly you perform. If you believe those voices, you will spend your entire life chasing a finish line that continues moving farther away. You will work harder, strive longer, and still wonder why your heart feels empty. But I did not create you to spend your days searching for an identity that I have already given you. Before anyone spoke your name, I knew you. Before anyone formed an opinion about you, I loved you. Before you ever succeeded or failed, my heart was already reaching toward you with compassion. That truth has not changed, and it never will. My child, I know there are moments when you feel overlooked. You look around and see others receiving recognition while your own efforts seem unnoticed. You wonder whether your faithfulness matters when no one applauds it. Let me assure you that nothing done with love and obedience escapes my attention. I see the quiet sacrifices that no one else celebrates. I see the prayers you whisper for your family. I see the kindness you extend when no one says thank you. I see the forgiveness you choose, even when your heart is still healing. Those moments are precious to me, because they reveal a heart that desires to honor me above the approval of people. Do not become discouraged when your journey looks different from someone else's. Every life I create carries a unique purpose. Just as no two stars shine in exactly the same place in the sky, no two lives are meant to unfold in exactly the same way. If you spend your days comparing your path with another person's, you will miss the beauty of what I am doing in your own life. Instead, lift your eyes toward me. Ask me to reveal today's assignment. Be faithful with what I have placed before you, and trust me with everything that remains beyond your understanding. I also want you to remember that weakness is not the end of your story. The world often hides weakness behind masks of confidence, but I invite you to bring your weakness into my presence. It is there that my strength becomes most visible. When you admit that you need me, you are not failing. You are opening the door for my grace to accomplish what your own efforts never could. Dependence upon me is not a sign of defeat. It is the beginning of true spiritual strength. Many times you have asked me to remove every obstacle from your path. Sometimes I do. At other times I strengthen you to walk through them. Both are expressions of my love. If every mountain disappeared the moment you approached it, you would never discover the endurance I have placed within you. If every difficulty vanished immediately, you might never experience the joy of seeing how faithfully I sustain you through seasons that once seemed impossible. I am not only interested in changing your circumstances. I am committed to transforming your heart. Keep your thoughts rooted in truth. What you repeatedly think about eventually shapes the way you live. If you continually meditate on fear, fear will influence your decisions. If you continually dwell on disappointment, hope will slowly fade. But if you fill your heart with my word, your perspective begins to change. You start recognizing my faithfulness where you once saw only uncertainty. You begin expecting my guidance instead of assuming failure. Little by little, your heart becomes steadier because it is anchored in something eternal rather than temporary. Do not overlook the value of resting in my presence. Rest is not laziness. Rest is an act of trust. It is your way of acknowledging that you do not have to carry the entire world upon your shoulders because I already hold it in mine. There are moments when the most faithful thing you can do is become still before me, allowing your anxious thoughts to settle while my peace gently renews your spirit. The world may reward constant striving, but I invite you into a rhythm of trust where work and rest both become acts of worship. As you continue serving those around you, remember that love often speaks most clearly through simple actions: a listening ear, a patient response, a generous heart, a word of encouragement offered at the right moment. These are not small things in my kingdom. They are seeds of hope planted into lives that may desperately need them. Never underestimate what I can accomplish through your willingness to reflect my compassion in ordinary moments. There will be seasons when answers come quickly, and there will be seasons when patience is required. Learn to trust me in both. Do not allow quick blessings to make you forget me, and do not allow delayed blessings to make you doubt me. Whether the road is smooth or difficult, my character remains the same. I am good in every season. I am faithful in every circumstance. I am present in every moment. Build your confidence upon that unchanging truth, and you will discover a peace that does not disappear when life becomes uncertain. Look around you with fresh eyes. Every sunrise reminds you that my mercies are new. Every breath reminds you that I continue sustaining your life. Every opportunity to love another person reminds you that my work through you is not finished. You are not here merely to exist. You are here to reflect my light into a world that longs for hope. The kindness you show today may become the answer to someone else's prayer. The courage you display today may inspire another person to keep believing tomorrow. As this journey continues, remain faithful in the little things. Continue praying even when you do not yet see the answer. Continue loving even when it is difficult. Continue forgiving even when it costs you. Continue trusting even when the future remains hidden. Every act of faith becomes part of the testimony I'm writing through your life. Nothing surrendered to me is ever wasted. If these words have encouraged your heart today, write, "The Lord is my refuge," in the comments below. Let that declaration strengthen your own faith and encourage someone else who may be searching for hope. Stay with me until the end of this series, because I am still leading you deeper into a life of confidence, peace, and unwavering trust. The best chapters of your walk with me are not behind you. They are still being written, one faithful step at a time. Have you ever wondered why some of the greatest changes in your life began during seasons that looked ordinary? You prayed for something extraordinary, yet I first invited you into faithfulness in the ordinary. You hoped for immediate transformation, yet I quietly began changing your heart before changing your circumstances. Do not overlook the value of what seems small today, because I often prepare great blessings through simple acts of daily obedience. The world looks for dramatic moments, but I delight in hearts that continue trusting me when no one else is watching. That is where lasting faith is formed. That is where character grows. That is where hope learns to stand without depending upon perfect circumstances. My child, I have never been in a hurry to accomplish something that requires careful preparation. A master craftsman does not rush while creating something valuable. Every careful movement has purpose. Every detail receives attention. In the same way, I have been shaping your heart through experiences that you did not fully understand. Some moments taught you patience. Others taught you compassion. Some seasons humbled you. Others strengthened your courage. Looking back, you may only remember the pain, but I remember the person you are becoming through it all. Do not believe that hidden seasons are wasted seasons. There are roots growing beneath the surface that will one day support the fruit you have been praying to see. A tree that reaches high into the sky must first grow deep beneath the ground. So too, I have been strengthening your faith where no one else could see it. I have been teaching you to depend upon my voice instead of public applause. I have been showing you that your identity is secure because it rests in my love, not in changing opinions or temporary success. There will always be moments when you wish the process were shorter. I understand those desires because I know your heart longs for relief. Yet I also know what lies ahead. I see responsibilities you have not yet received. I see people whose lives will one day be encouraged because of the wisdom you are gaining now. I see opportunities that require maturity still being formed within you. If I rushed the preparation, I would not be serving your greatest good. Trust that my timing is not withholding something from you. My timing is preparing you to receive it well. Be careful not to measure progress only by visible results. Some of the most meaningful growth happens quietly. You become more patient without realizing it. You learn to speak with greater kindness. You react with peace where you once reacted with fear. You begin choosing forgiveness more quickly than before. These changes may seem small, yet they reveal that my Spirit continues working within you day after day. Celebrate these quiet victories, because they are evidence that your life is being transformed from the inside out. Do not lose your joy while waiting for tomorrow. Joy is not reserved for people whose lives are free from difficulty. Joy grows wherever my presence is welcomed. Learn to notice my gifts in the middle of ordinary days. Notice the strength I provide to complete today's responsibilities. Notice the encouragement that comes through a kind conversation. Notice the beauty of creation reminding you that I remain the faithful Creator. Notice the peace that settles into your heart after spending time with me. These are not insignificant moments. They are reminders that I continue walking beside you. I also want you to protect your heart from unnecessary distractions. Not everything competing for your attention deserves your attention. Fill your mind with what strengthens your faith rather than what feeds your anxiety. Spend time with people who encourage you to grow in wisdom and love. Guard your thoughts, because the direction of your thinking influences the direction of your life. The more your heart remains centered upon my truth, the less room fear has to control your decisions. Remember that your calling is not simply about what you accomplish. Your calling is about who you become while walking with me. I desire that your life reflect humility, compassion, integrity, patience, and love. Achievements may inspire people for a moment, but a life that reflects my character leaves an influence that reaches far beyond what you may ever realize. Let your daily choices become acts of worship. Let your conversations bring hope. Let your actions reveal kindness. Allow the way you live to point others toward me. There may still be questions you cannot answer today, and that is all right. You do not need complete understanding in order to continue trusting me. You only need the willingness to take the next faithful step. I will provide light for today's path, and when tomorrow arrives, I will provide light for tomorrow's path as well. I have never expected you to carry the entire journey at once. I simply invite you to walk with me, one day at a time, one decision at a time, one act of faith at a time. Never forget that my love for you is not based upon how quickly you grow or how perfectly you perform. My love is constant because it flows from my nature. When you stumble, I lift you. When you become weary, I strengthen you. When you lose your way, I gently guide you back. I remain faithful because faithfulness is who I am. You can rest in that truth when everything else around you seems uncertain. As these messages continue, let your confidence grow, not because life has become easier, but because you have come to know me more deeply. Build your future upon my promises. Walk each day with gratitude. Continue believing that I am working, even when the evidence has not yet appeared. The story I am writing through your life is still unfolding, and every chapter is held securely within my hands. If these words have encouraged your heart today, comment, God is still working in me. Let that declaration remind you that growth is happening even when it cannot yet be seen. Keep listening until the end of this series, because every message is designed to strengthen your faith, deepen your trust, and help you walk confidently in the unchanging love that I have for you. Do not allow the changing seasons around you to convince you that my faithfulness has changed. The winds may shift. The plans you made may unfold differently than you expected, and the people around you may come and go, but I remain the same yesterday, today, and forever. When everything familiar seems uncertain, remember that I have never asked you to build your life upon circumstances. I have invited you to build it upon me. A life rooted in my truth will not collapse when storms arrive. It may be shaken for a moment, but it will continue standing because its foundation cannot be moved. That is the kind of faith I desire to cultivate within you. Not a faith that depends upon comfort, but a faith that remains steadfast because it knows the one in whom it trusts. My child, I know there are moments when you feel as though you are standing alone. You look around and wonder whether anyone truly understands the burdens you carry. You smile during conversations while quietly holding questions that no one else can see. Yet you are never alone, not even for a single moment. Before your first prayer reached your lips, I already knew what was in your heart. Before your first tear fell, I understood the reason behind it. My presence is not determined by whether you feel it. My presence is the unchanging reality that surrounds you every day. Even in your quietest moments, I am near. Do not let disappointment become the voice that interprets your future. Disappointment speaks from limited understanding. It looks at one difficult chapter and assumes the whole story has been written. But I am the author who sees every page. I know the chapters that have not yet unfolded. I know the victories that are still ahead, the lessons that will strengthen you, the relationships that will encourage you, and the opportunities that will arrive at the right time. Never conclude that your future is hopeless simply because your present season is difficult. I am still writing. There is great strength in learning to trust me before you understand me completely. You often want every answer before taking the next step, but faith grows when you continue walking, even while some questions remain unanswered. Think of a traveler carrying a lantern through the night. The light does not reveal the entire journey at once. It simply provides enough light for the next few steps. In the same way, I often give you enough direction for today while asking you to trust me with tomorrow. That is not because I desire confusion. It is because I desire a relationship built upon trust rather than mere certainty. Do not be afraid of the responsibilities I will place before you. Sometimes you look ahead and wonder whether you will be strong enough for what lies beyond the horizon. Remember this: I never call you into tomorrow's assignment with yesterday's strength alone. I supply fresh grace for every new season. The courage you need will come when the moment arrives. The wisdom you require will be given as you seek me. The endurance you are praying for will grow as you continue walking faithfully. You do not need to carry tomorrow's strength today, because I will faithfully provide it when it is needed. Guard your heart against becoming impatient with the pace of my work. A hurried spirit often overlooks the beautiful things growing quietly beneath the surface. While you have been waiting for visible breakthroughs, I have been strengthening your inner life. While you have been asking me to change your circumstances, I have also been changing the way you respond to those circumstances. There is a quiet confidence developing within you that did not exist before. There is a deeper compassion for others because you now understand suffering in a way you once did not. There is greater humility because you have learned that true strength comes from depending upon me. These are treasures that no difficulty can take away. Continue choosing kindness, even when the world encourages bitterness. Continue choosing honesty, even when compromise appears easier. Continue choosing forgiveness, even when holding on to resentment seems justified. Every decision to follow my ways shapes your character and reflects my heart to those around you. Never underestimate the influence of a life lived with integrity. You may never fully know how your quiet faithfulness encourages another person to keep believing. Do not neglect the simple disciplines that nourish your soul. Spend time in prayer, not because it is merely a duty, but because it is an opportunity to walk closely with me. Open my word, not simply to gain information, but to allow truth to renew your mind. Worship me, not only when life feels joyful, but also when your heart needs to remember my greatness. These daily moments become anchors that hold you steady when unexpected storms arise. I also want you to become a source of hope wherever I have placed you. There are people around you carrying burdens they never speak about. There are hearts longing for encouragement. A gentle word, a patient response, a sincere prayer, or a simple act of compassion can become a reminder of my love to someone who desperately needs it. Do not wait for extraordinary opportunities before serving me. Faithfulness in ordinary moments often produces extraordinary fruit. As you continue this journey, refuse to let fear decide the direction of your life. Let love guide your actions. Let truth shape your thoughts. Let gratitude fill your heart. When fear whispers that you cannot continue, remember how many times I have already carried you farther than you thought possible. My faithfulness has not ended, and it will not end now. I will continue leading you through every season with wisdom, mercy, and unfailing love. One day you will look back upon this season and recognize how carefully I was preparing you. What now feels uncertain will one day become part of the testimony that strengthens another weary heart. The lessons you are learning today will become words of encouragement tomorrow. The peace you are discovering in my presence will overflow into the lives of those who are searching for hope. Nothing surrendered to me is ever wasted. Every step of obedience becomes part of a greater purpose that reaches beyond what you can presently imagine. If these words have encouraged your heart today, comment, "The Lord is my foundation." Let your declaration become a reminder that your life is built upon the one who never changes. Continue with me through the rest of this journey, because I am still shaping your faith, strengthening your heart, and leading you into a deeper understanding of my peace, my wisdom, and my everlasting love. Before you begin searching for answers, begin by remembering who walks beside you. So often you wake with a mind already racing toward tomorrow, trying to solve problems that have not yet arrived. You carry conversations that have not yet happened. You imagine outcomes you cannot control. Little by little, your heart becomes weary, not because today has defeated you, but because you have tried to live many tomorrows at once. I did not create you for that burden. I created you to receive my grace one day at a time. Every sunrise is a reminder that my mercy is new. Every breath is evidence that I have not finished my work in your life. Before you worry about what tomorrow may bring, remember that I will already be there when tomorrow becomes today. My child, there have been moments when you questioned whether you were strong enough to continue. You looked at the road ahead and felt overwhelmed by its length. You wondered if your faith would endure another trial, another disappointment, another season of waiting. Yet notice something beautiful. You are still here. You have survived days you once believed would break you. You have walked through valleys you thought you would never leave. You have cried tears that only I witnessed, and still I carried you forward. That was never because of your strength alone. It was because my hand never released yours. Do not allow fear to borrow joy from the future. Fear has a way of painting tomorrow with the darkest colors. It tells you that what went wrong before will certainly happen again. It whispers that failure is waiting around every corner. But fear does not know your future, because fear is not your shepherd. I know your future, because I am already present there. Trust the one who sees the complete path instead of the voice that only imagines the worst. I want you to learn the beauty of faithful obedience. You often desire dramatic moments of breakthrough, but my kingdom frequently grows through quiet consistency. Every time you choose honesty over compromise, you strengthen your character. Every time you respond with kindness instead of anger, you reflect my heart. Every time you forgive, even when forgiveness is difficult, you become freer than before. These daily decisions shape the person you are becoming. Never think that small acts of obedience are unnoticed. Heaven rejoices over faithfulness that the world may never applaud. There will be days when your emotions rise and fall like waves upon the sea. On one day, confidence fills your heart. On another, uncertainty seems to return without warning. Do not judge my faithfulness by the changing weather of your emotions. Build your confidence upon what remains true, whether you feel it or not. My promises do not become weaker because your feelings change. My love does not become smaller because your confidence wavers. I remain constant when everything else appears uncertain. Remember to slow your pace often enough to recognize my blessings. Many people rush through life so quickly that they overlook the evidence of my goodness surrounding them. Notice the people who encourage you. Notice the opportunities to serve. Notice the strength I provide for another day. Notice the quiet peace that settles over your heart after you spend time with me. Gratitude opens your eyes to gifts that anxiety often hides. The more thankful your heart becomes, the more clearly you will recognize my presence throughout your day. Do not become discouraged if others fail to understand your journey. Every person sees only part of your story, but I know it completely. I understand the prayers you have never spoken aloud. I know the battles hidden behind your smile. I know the sacrifices you have made that no one else remembers. Continue living for my approval rather than the approval of people. Human praise fades quickly, but a life lived faithfully before me carries eternal value. There is also something I want you to remember when you face disappointment. A closed door does not always mean a lost opportunity. Sometimes it is my protection. Sometimes it is my redirection. Sometimes it is simply my invitation to trust me a little longer. Do not assume that every unanswered desire is evidence of my absence. Ask me instead to give you wisdom to recognize my guidance, even when it leads you differently than you expected. Fill your home with words that give life. Speak hope instead of despair. Offer encouragement instead of criticism. Pray together with those you love. Let forgiveness become a regular practice rather than a rare event. A peaceful home is not built because every problem disappears. It is built because hearts continually return to grace, humility, patience, and love. Allow my Spirit to shape the atmosphere wherever I have placed you, and you will become a source of peace to those around you. As you continue walking with me, remember that true success is not measured only by what you accomplish, but by how faithfully you reflect my character. A humble heart, a generous spirit, a truthful mouth, and compassionate hands reveal my work more clearly than impressive achievements alone. Let your life become a testimony of my goodness through the way you treat others each day. Do not fear the days ahead. You are not walking into them alone. I will provide wisdom when decisions become difficult. I will provide comfort when sorrow visits. I will provide courage when challenges arise. I will provide peace when the world offers only confusion. Keep your eyes upon me, and you will discover that my strength is sufficient for every season. The road may still have hills to climb, but you will never climb them without my presence beside you. If these words have encouraged your heart today, comment, "The Lord is my strength each day." Let your declaration encourage someone else who needs hope. Continue with me through the rest of this journey, because there is still more I desire to teach you about walking in faith, living with courage, and discovering the lasting peace that comes from trusting me one faithful step at a time. Lift your eyes above the noise that surrounds you and listen to my voice. Every day the world offers new reasons to become anxious. Headlines change, circumstances shift, people make promises they cannot keep, and unexpected challenges appear without warning. If you allow your heart to be anchored in things that constantly change, you will constantly feel unsettled. But I have called you to something greater. I have called you to build your life upon the rock that never moves. When everything around you seems uncertain, remember that I remain faithful. I do not wait to discover new problems. I do not search for answers I have forgotten. I am the Alpha and the Omega, the one who sees the beginning and the end at the same time. Nothing surprises me, and nothing has the power to remove you from my loving care. My child, I know there have been days when you questioned your own strength. You wondered whether you could continue carrying the responsibilities before you. You worried that one more disappointment would finally become too much. Yet every time you reached what felt like your limit, I quietly supplied the strength you needed for one more step. You may have called it endurance. You may have called it determination. But I know it was my grace working within you. The strength that brought you this far did not come from your own ability alone. It came because I remained faithful when you felt weak. Do not allow temporary setbacks to become permanent conclusions. A difficult season is not the definition of your life. It is only one chapter in a much greater story that I am writing. Some chapters contain tears, others contain celebration. Some are filled with waiting, while others overflow with answered prayers. Do not judge the entire book by one difficult page. Keep trusting me, because I know how every chapter fits together. What seems confusing today will one day reveal wisdom you could not yet understand. There is beauty in learning to trust me before every answer arrives. Anyone can celebrate after the breakthrough has come, but faith learns to sing even while the road is still unfolding. That kind of faith does not ignore reality. It simply refuses to let uncertainty have the final word. When you continue thanking me even while waiting, your heart becomes stronger than fear. When you continue serving others even while carrying your own burdens, you discover that my love flows through you in ways that renew your own spirit. Remember that I am shaping your character as carefully as I am guiding your circumstances. It is possible to receive success without developing wisdom, but I desire both for you. I want your heart to remain humble when blessings increase. I want compassion to grow alongside confidence. I want integrity to remain firm whether anyone is watching or not. These qualities become the foundation that allows you to carry greater responsibilities without losing sight of what truly matters. Do not become distracted by voices that constantly tell you to hurry. The world often celebrates speed, but I value faithfulness. A meaningful life is not built through rushed decisions. It is built through thousands of ordinary choices made with love, honesty, patience, and obedience. Every day you choose forgiveness over resentment, generosity over selfishness, truth over compromise, and hope over despair. You are building a life that reflects my kingdom. Take time to notice the people I have placed around you. Some need encouragement that only you can offer. Some need the compassion that has grown in your heart through your own experiences. Never assume your words have little value. A single sentence spoken with kindness can strengthen someone who is ready to give up. A sincere prayer can remind another heart that it has not been forgotten. Allow my love to become visible through the way you treat those I place in your path. Do not let guilt keep you from drawing near to me. When you stumble, do not run away from my presence. Come toward me. My desire is not to push you farther away, but to restore you. Confess honestly. Receive my mercy with gratitude, and continue walking forward. Do not remain where grace has already lifted you. I call you to live in freedom, not in endless self-condemnation. Learn from your mistakes, but never allow them to become the voice that defines your identity. I also want you to remember that true peace grows through daily fellowship with me. Spend time in prayer, not only when you need something, but because you desire to know me more deeply. Read my word with an open heart. Let it shape your thoughts before the opinions of the world shape them. Worship me in moments of joy and in moments of struggle. As you continue drawing near to me, you will discover that my peace becomes a steady companion, even when life remains imperfect. The future before you is filled with opportunities you cannot yet imagine. Do not allow today's limitations to convince you that tomorrow holds nothing new. I am able to open doors no person can close. I am able to create opportunities where none seem to exist. I am able to restore what was broken and breathe hope into places that appeared lifeless. Keep your expectations rooted in my faithfulness rather than in the limits of human understanding. As this journey continues, choose each day to begin with trust instead of fear. Let gratitude become your first response. Let my promises become the thoughts you return to when anxiety tries to take hold. Walk humbly, love generously, forgive quickly, and remain faithful in the small things. A heart that continually seeks me will never walk alone, because I delight in leading those who place their confidence in me. If these words have encouraged your spirit today, comment, "My hope is secure in the Lord." Let your declaration remind your own heart that your future is safely held in my hands. And if these messages have been a blessing to you, please like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with someone who needs encouragement today. If you feel led to support this ministry so that more people can hear messages of hope rooted in my word, you can do so through the link provided below. Your support helps these messages reach hearts that are searching for comfort, truth, and lasting peace. Stay with me through the remaining parts of this series, because I am still revealing how to live each day with unwavering faith, enduring hope, and complete confidence in my unfailing love. Do not let your heart be overwhelmed by everything you cannot control. There are questions you cannot answer today, paths you cannot yet see, and moments that have not yet arrived. If you spend your strength trying to carry all of tomorrow before it comes, you will miss the grace I have already placed within this day. I have never asked you to understand every detail of the journey before taking the next step. I have only asked you to trust the one who already knows the way. My wisdom reaches beyond every horizon you cannot yet see. My love reaches deeper than every fear that still tries to trouble your heart. When you remember who I am, uncertainty loses much of its power over you. My child, I know there had been seasons when your heart grew tired from waiting. You looked for signs that everything would soon become easier. You hoped each new day would finally bring the answer you had been praying for. When those answers seemed delayed, discouragement quietly began speaking louder than hope. But I want you to understand something that will strengthen your faith. My work in your life is not limited to the moments when you see immediate results. I am working even when the process appears slow. I am preparing blessings you cannot yet imagine, and I am preparing your heart to receive them with wisdom, humility, and gratitude. There is great freedom in learning to release what you cannot control. So much of your anxiety has come from trying to carry responsibilities that belong to me alone. You have tried to predict every outcome, solve every problem before it appears, and protect yourself from every possible disappointment. But you were never created to live beneath that weight. Lay those burdens before me. Allow my peace to replace the pressure you have carried for so long. Trust is not weakness. Trust is the quiet confidence that my hands are strong enough to hold what yours cannot. Remember how many times I have already sustained you. Think back to seasons when you believed there was no way forward. Yet somehow you continued. Doors opened that you could never have opened by yourself. Strength arrived when your own strength had nearly disappeared. Encouragement came through unexpected people. Wisdom came at exactly the right moment. Those experiences were not random. They were reminders that I remained faithful through every chapter of your life. The same faithfulness that carried you then will continue carrying you now. Do not become discouraged by the pace of spiritual growth. Many changes happen so gradually that you notice them only when you pause to look back. You have become more patient than you once were. You forgive more quickly. You seek my guidance before making important decisions. You respond to difficulties with greater peace than before. These are signs that my spirit continues transforming your heart. Celebrate these quiet victories. They are evidence that your faith is becoming stronger with every season. I also want you to guard your words carefully. Words possess great influence. They can bring hope or deepen despair. They can heal wounded hearts or leave lasting scars. Let your speech reflect the love I have shown you. Speak with gentleness. Encourage generously. Refuse to allow bitterness to shape your conversations. The words you choose each day reveal what is growing within your heart. Let your words become seeds of hope that bear fruit in the lives of those around you. Do not forget the importance of gratitude. Gratitude shifts your attention from what is missing to what I have already provided. It reminds you that my goodness has been present all along. Thank me for the strength to face another day. Thank me for the people who love you. Thank me for opportunities to serve. Thank me for lessons that have made your faith deeper. A thankful heart becomes more sensitive to my presence because it continually recognizes my goodness. There will be moments when others misunderstand your journey. Some may question the choices you make as you seek to follow me. Others may not understand why you continue trusting during difficult seasons. Do not allow misunderstanding to steal your peace. You are not called to follow every opinion. You are called to follow my voice. If your heart remains sincere before me, you can walk forward with confidence, even when others fail to understand the path I have chosen for you. As you continue growing, remember that true greatness is found in serving others with humility. The world often pursues recognition, but my kingdom values faithfulness. A humble servant who loves sincerely reflects my heart more clearly than someone seeking applause. Look for opportunities to lift others, to encourage the discouraged, to comfort the hurting, and to pray for those who feel forgotten. When you become a channel of my love, your own heart is refreshed in ways you never expected. Do not fear the future. I am already there. I know every opportunity that awaits you. I know every challenge that will require fresh courage. I know every blessing that will arrive in its appointed time. Nothing in your future exists outside my knowledge or my care. Continue walking with confidence, not because life will always be easy, but because I will always remain faithful. When your strength grows weak, mine will remain sufficient. When your understanding reaches its limit, my wisdom will continue leading you. One day you will look back and realize that many of the things you feared never came to pass. You will also recognize that the things which did come were met by grace you could not have imagined beforehand. That is how I have always worked. I do not promise a life without challenges, but I do promise my presence through every one of them. My presence is enough to sustain you, strengthen you, comfort you, and guide you until the journey is complete. Continue seeking me each morning before the voices of the world fill your thoughts. Continue opening your heart to my word. Continue choosing faith over fear, love over resentment, and hope over despair. The path ahead may still hold surprises, but it also holds my unfailing guidance. Walk forward with courage, because the one who called you is faithful, and I will never abandon the work I have begun within you. If this message has strengthened your heart today, comment, "I will walk by faith." Let your declaration encourage someone else who may be struggling to keep moving forward. Stay with me through the remaining parts of this journey, because I am still revealing truths that will deepen your trust, strengthen your spirit, and help you live each day with lasting peace, unwavering hope, and complete confidence in my everlasting love. Listen carefully, because I want these words to settle deeply into your heart before another voice has the opportunity to fill your mind with fear. You have been measuring your progress by what you can see, but I measure it by what I am accomplishing within you. You notice the battles that still remain. I see the victories you have already won. You remember the prayers that have not yet been answered. I remember every prayer you have faithfully offered and every step of obedience you have taken along the way. Do not think that your journey has been forgotten simply because it has taken longer than you expected. I have never abandoned the work I began in your life, and I will not abandon it now. Every season has been held securely in my hands, and every step has carried a purpose that reaches farther than your eyes can presently see. My child, there have been moments when you felt as though you were making no progress at all. You looked at yourself and saw only the places where you still struggled. You became discouraged because you expected transformation to happen more quickly. Yet growth is often quieter than you imagine. Just as dawn does not arrive all at once but slowly pushes away the darkness, my work within you unfolds day by day. The changes may seem small, but they are real. You are becoming more patient. You are learning to seek my wisdom before reacting. You are discovering that forgiveness brings freedom. You are learning to trust me in ways you never thought possible. These are not small accomplishments. They are signs that my spirit is faithfully shaping your heart. Do not allow perfectionism to steal the joy of becoming who I created you to be. You sometimes believe that unless everything changes immediately, nothing has changed at all. But I do not despise small beginnings. I delight in faithful hearts that continue walking with me even when the results are not immediately visible. Every act of obedience matters. Every prayer spoken in faith matters. Every choice to love when it would have been easier to become bitter matters. Nothing done for my glory is ever wasted. Remember that my plans are not fragile. They do not collapse because you had a difficult day or because you stumbled along the journey. My mercy is greater than your failures, and my grace is sufficient for every weakness you bring before me. When you fall, do not remain on the ground believing that your story has ended. Rise again through the strength I provide. Learn from the moment, receive my forgiveness, and continue forward. I am not asking you to live without mistakes. I am inviting you to live with a heart that continually returns to me. There will always be voices trying to convince you that you are not enough. The world may measure your value by success, appearance, wealth, or recognition, but I measure your life differently. I look at the condition of your heart. I see the compassion you show to others. I see your desire to walk in truth. I see your willingness to serve when no one is watching. Those things matter deeply in my kingdom. Never allow temporary standards to define your eternal identity. Take time to rest in my presence without feeling that you must always accomplish something. There is a beautiful peace that comes when you simply sit before me, allowing my love to quiet your anxious thoughts. You do not always need to have the perfect words. You do not need to impress me with long speeches. Sometimes the greatest act of faith is simply remaining still, trusting that I know your heart completely. In that quiet place, I renew your strength, calm your fears, and remind you once again that you are never alone. Look around you with eyes that are ready to notice opportunities for kindness. There are people carrying hidden burdens. There are hearts longing for encouragement. A gentle conversation, a sincere prayer, a forgiving spirit, or a generous act of love may become the very reminder someone needs that I have not forgotten them. Never underestimate the influence of a life surrendered to my love. The smallest expression of compassion can become the beginning of someone else's healing. Do not become impatient when my answers differ from your expectations. My wisdom is perfect, even when it remains beyond your understanding. There are doors I close because I am protecting you. There are doors I delay because I am preparing you. There are doors I open that you never expected because my plans are greater than your imagination. Continue trusting my heart even when you cannot yet trace my hand. In time, you will see that my faithfulness was guiding you through every step. Fill your thoughts with what strengthens your spirit. Do not spend your days feeding fear while starving your faith. Spend time with my word. Reflect upon my promises. Remember the ways I have already carried you through previous seasons. Gratitude will remind you that my goodness has been present all along. Hope will grow stronger as you continue fixing your eyes upon me instead of upon circumstances that constantly change. There is a future before you that is still unfolding according to my perfect wisdom. Do not conclude that today's limitations are permanent. I am able to accomplish more than you can imagine. Continue preparing your heart through faithful obedience. Continue serving where I have placed you. Continue loving those around you with sincerity. The seeds you plant today will bear fruit in the season I have appointed, and that harvest will glorify me in ways you cannot yet foresee. As this journey draws closer to its conclusion, let these truths become part of the way you live each day. Begin each morning by placing your trust in me. End each evening by remembering my faithfulness. Walk through every circumstance with a quiet confidence that I remain with you. My love has not weakened. My promises have not failed. My presence has not departed. I am still leading you, still strengthening you, and still completing the beautiful work I began in your life. If these words have spoken to your heart today, comment, "God is not finished with me." Let those words become your declaration of hope and encouragement to someone else who may be struggling. Continue with me through the final parts of this series, because I want to lead your heart firmly rooted in faith, overflowing with hope, and confident that my love will remain your steady foundation through every season of your life. Be still for a moment, and let your heart listen more carefully than your fears. There have been many voices competing for your attention. Some have reminded you of what you lost. Others have magnified what you still lack. Still others have tried to convince you that your future is determined by your past. But my voice has never spoken those words over you. I speak life where fear predicts defeat. I speak hope where discouragement whispers that nothing will ever change. I speak peace into the places where anxiety has tried to build its home. If you will quiet your heart long enough to hear me, you will discover that I have been nearer than you ever realized. I have not been waiting for you to become stronger before drawing close to you. I have been walking beside you through every step, even when you did not recognize my presence. My child, there have been days when you wondered whether your prayers mattered. You prayed with sincerity, yet the answers did not arrive according to your expectations. Slowly, doubt tried to convince you that silence meant distance. But do not confuse my patience with my absence. There are moments when I answer immediately, and there are moments when I work through a process that unfolds one step at a time. In both seasons, my love remains unchanged. I have never stopped listening. I have never ignored your cries. Every prayer entrusted to me has been received by a Father who knows exactly what his children need. I want you to stop measuring your value by what you have accomplished. Your worth is not determined by titles, achievements, possessions, or recognition. Those things may come and go, but my love remains constant. I created you with intention. I formed you with purpose. I breathed life into you because I desired you to know me and to reflect my goodness in the world. That purpose has not disappeared because life has become difficult. If anything, the trials you have faced have prepared you to reveal my compassion with greater depth and sincerity. Do not become discouraged when progress seems slow. Think about the sunrise. Darkness does not disappear in a single instant. Light gradually fills the sky until what was hidden becomes visible. In the same way, I often transform hearts, gradually. Each day that you choose forgiveness instead of resentment, trust instead of panic, truth instead of fear, and love instead of selfishness, my light grows brighter within you. You may not notice every change as it happens, but over time you will look back and realize that I have brought you much farther than you imagined. There are blessings that cannot be received with closed hands. Some of your greatest burdens have come because you have tried to hold tightly to things I have been asking you to release. Release resentment and receive peace. Release bitterness and receive freedom. Release endless worry and receive trust. Release the need to control every outcome and receive the quiet confidence that I am already at work. Empty hands are not signs of loss when they are open to receive what I desire to place within them. Remember also that love is strongest when it continues despite disappointment. It is easy to love when everything is going well. It is easy to remain hopeful when every prayer seems to be answered quickly. But lasting faith is revealed when you continue loving, serving, and trusting me even while the road remains uncertain. That kind of faith becomes a testimony that points others toward my goodness. Do not isolate yourself when life becomes difficult. I have often chosen to strengthen my people through the encouragement of one another. Be willing to receive kindness as well as give it. Allow trusted believers to pray with you. Share hope with those who are weary. Carry one another's burdens with humility and compassion. You were never meant to walk this journey completely alone. Guard your heart against becoming distracted by constant noise. The world is filled with opinions demanding your attention, but not every voice deserves a place in your thoughts. Spend more time listening to my truth than to fear. Fill your heart with what is pure, honorable, and life-giving. The more your mind is renewed by my word, the more clearly you will recognize my guidance in daily life. When you face uncertainty, ask yourself not, how strong am I, but how faithful is my God? Your confidence has never rested upon your own ability. It rests upon my unchanging character. I have been faithful through generations before you, and I will remain faithful throughout your life. I do not grow weary. I do not abandon my promises. I do not forget those who seek me with sincere hearts. One day, many of the questions that trouble you now will no longer carry the same weight. You will see how I used ordinary moments to accomplish extraordinary purposes. You will recognize that even difficult seasons were shaping your compassion, deepening your wisdom, and strengthening your faith. Until that day arrives, continue walking forward with humble confidence. Trust that I am working even when the evidence seems small. Trust that my timing is wise even when it differs from your expectations. Trust that my love remains steady through every season. As this series nears its conclusion, carry these truths into your daily life. Begin each morning by placing your heart in my hands. Throughout the day, pause to remember that I am with you. Before you rest each evening, thank me for the grace that carried you through another day. A life built upon these simple habits will become increasingly rooted in peace, regardless of the circumstances around it. If today's message has encouraged your heart, comment, "The Lord holds my future." Let those words remind you and encourage someone else that your hope rests in the one who never changes. Stay with me through the final chapters of this journey, because I want to leave you with a heart that is steady in faith, anchored in hope, and confident that my love will continue to guide you every step of the way. Lift your eyes once more and listen to my voice before the world speaks into your day. Every morning brings new choices. You can choose to let fear write the first sentence of your thoughts, or you can choose to remember my faithfulness before anything else. The direction of your heart is often determined by the voice you listen to first. So, before anxiety begins listing everything that could go wrong, remember everything I have already done for you. Before discouragement tells you that nothing is changing, remember how many times I have carried you through seasons that once seemed impossible. I have never failed you, and I will not begin now. My faithfulness does not expire with time. It remains constant because my nature never changes. My child, I know that your heart sometimes grows tired. You have loved people who did not always return that love. You have prayed for situations that remain difficult longer than you expected. You have tried to do what is right, even when it would have been easier to give up. I have seen every unseen sacrifice. I have seen every quiet act of obedience. Nothing offered in love is forgotten in my kingdom. Even when others overlook your faithfulness, I never do. I treasure every moment you chose kindness over anger, humility over pride, and trust over fear. Do not allow disappointment to harden your heart. Pain will try to convince you that closing your heart is the safest way to live. But I did not create you to live behind walls built by fear. I created you to live with courage, born from my love. A heart that trusts me can remain tender without becoming weak. It can forgive without becoming foolish. It can hope again without denying past hurts. My love has the power to heal what pain alone never could. There will always be moments when the path ahead seems uncertain. In those moments, remember that I do not ask you to see the entire road. I ask you to remain faithful with the next step. Faithfulness is not measured by knowing every answer. It is measured by continuing to walk with me even when some answers remain hidden. Every step of obedience becomes another opportunity to experience my guidance. As you continue trusting me, you will discover that I provide what you need exactly when you need it. Keep your thoughts rooted in gratitude. Gratitude protects your heart from becoming consumed by what is still missing. It reminds you of what I have already provided. Look around and notice my goodness. Notice the breath in your lungs, the strength to begin another day, the people who encourage you, the opportunities to serve, the wisdom you have gained through every season. These are gifts that reveal my loving care. A grateful heart sees my fingerprints in places that fear often overlooks. Remember that your greatest calling is not simply to receive my blessings, but to reflect my character. Let patience become visible in the way you respond to others. Let compassion shape your conversations. Let honesty guide your decisions. Let forgiveness become part of your daily life. When people encounter you, may they experience a glimpse of my kindness through your words and actions. This is how light shines in a world that often feels overwhelmed by darkness. Do not become discouraged if your journey looks different from what you once imagined. Sometimes I lead my children along unexpected roads because those roads prepare them for purposes they could not have anticipated. The destination I have prepared is greater than the path you originally planned. Trust my direction even when it requires letting go of your own expectations. I never lead without purpose, and I never waste a season surrendered to me. When fear returns, do not argue with it endlessly. Instead, return your attention to my truth. Open my word. Speak my promises aloud. Remember the ways I have sustained you before. Fear grows weaker when your heart becomes occupied with truth. Peace increases when your mind remains fixed upon my faithfulness. The battle is often won long before circumstances change, because it begins with choosing which voice you believe. I also want you to become known as someone who brings hope wherever you go. There are weary hearts all around you. Some carry burdens they never mention. Some smile while quietly struggling. A gentle word, a listening ear, a sincere prayer, or a thoughtful act of kindness may become the encouragement they have been asking me to provide. Never underestimate the influence of simple faithfulness. I often accomplish extraordinary things through ordinary acts of love. The journey you are walking is shaping you for eternity, not merely for today. Every lesson, every challenge, every victory, and every act of obedience is preparing your heart to know me more deeply. The greatest reward is not found in temporary success. It is found in walking closely with me, growing in my love, and allowing that love to transform every part of your life. This relationship is the treasure that no circumstance can take away. As we approach the end of this journey together, hold tightly to this truth. I am with you in every season. I will be with you in moments of celebration, and I will be with you in moments of sorrow. I will be with you when doors open, and I will be with you when you must patiently wait. My presence is your greatest security because it never depends upon changing circumstances. Build your life upon that truth, and you will discover a peace that remains steady through every season. Walk into each new day expecting my faithfulness. Speak words that bring life. Choose hope even when fear tries to speak louder. Love generously. Forgive quickly. Trust deeply. And remember that every step taken with me is a step toward the purpose I have lovingly prepared for your life. If today's message has strengthened your heart, comment, "The Lord will lead me." Let your declaration encourage someone else to keep trusting me. Continue with me into the final part of this series, because I want to leave you with one lasting reminder that you can carry into every day of your life. A reminder that my love is steadfast, my promises are true, and my presence will never leave you. As this journey comes to its close, I do not want you to leave with only beautiful words. I want you to leave with a heart that has been anchored more deeply in my truth. There will still be days when questions arise. There will still be moments when life feels uncertain. But I pray that when those moments come, you will remember not merely what you heard, but who has been speaking to you. I am the one who formed you with purpose, redeemed you through love, and continues to guide you with unwavering faithfulness. Long after this message ends, my presence will remain. Long after today's emotions have changed, my promises will still stand. Long after today's worries have passed away, my love will continue surrounding you. Build your life upon that unchanging foundation, and you will discover a peace that no circumstance can take away. My child, I have never asked you to carry your future alone. I have never expected you to possess all the answers before taking the next step. I have only asked you to trust me one day at a time. When your strength feels small, remember that my strength is never diminished. When your wisdom reaches its limit, remember that mine has no limit. When your courage seems to fade, remember that I remain beside you, ready to strengthen every heart that looks to me. You are not walking through life by yourself. Every sunrise, every challenge, every joyful celebration, and every quiet moment unfolds beneath my watchful care. Carry this truth into every season. Your identity is not built upon success or failure. It is not determined by the approval of people or the changing opinions of the world. Your identity is rooted in the relationship we share. You are called to walk in humility, to love generously, to forgive freely, and to trust deeply because my grace has first been given to you. Let this truth become the place where your heart returns whenever fear tries to pull you in another direction. Do not become discouraged when you encounter difficulties in the days ahead. Challenges are not signs that I have abandoned you. They are opportunities to remember that my presence is sufficient. Every valley reminds you to lean upon me. Every mountain teaches you to praise me. Every ordinary day becomes another opportunity to discover that I remain faithful in both the extraordinary and the routine. Learn to see my hand not only in dramatic moments, but also in quiet acts of daily grace. Continue filling your heart with my word. Let it shape the way you think, the way you speak, and the way you respond to others. The more deeply my truth settles within you, the less power fear will have over your life. Return to prayer often, not because I need reminding, but because your heart is strengthened whenever you spend time in my presence. Speak honestly with me. Listen patiently. Trust that I am working, even when the next step is not yet fully visible. Remember also the people I have placed along your path. Some will encourage you. Others will challenge you to grow. Some will need the comfort you have received from me. Be willing to become an instrument of my peace. Offer kindness where there is anger. Speak hope where there is discouragement. Extend forgiveness where there has been hurt. Shine with humility instead of seeking recognition. In doing these things, you reveal my character to a world that longs for genuine love. There will be moments when you look back over your life and recognize my fingerprints in places you once thought were empty. You will remember prayers that seemed unanswered, but were guiding you towards something better. You will recall closed doors that protected you from paths never meant for you. You will see how my grace sustained you through seasons that once felt unbearable. On that day, gratitude will replace confusion, and worship will replace many of the questions you carried. Until then, continue trusting that I am faithful even when you cannot yet see the whole picture. Keep your heart free from bitterness. Keep your spirit open to joy. Celebrate the victories of others without comparison. Be patient with those who are still growing, just as I have been patient with you. Continue choosing integrity when compromise seems easier. Continue loving when love requires sacrifice. Continue believing when circumstances tempt you to doubt. A life surrendered to me becomes a testimony that reaches farther than you may ever know. When you awaken each morning, begin by placing your day into my hands. Before the demands of life begin speaking, remember that I am already with you. Throughout the day, pause to thank me for my guidance. In the evening, reflect upon my faithfulness and rest in the assurance that I will continue watching over you through the night. These simple habits will steadily shape a heart that remains at peace regardless of changing circumstances. Never forget that hope is not wishful thinking. Hope is confident. Trust in my character. Because I am faithful, you have reason to hope. Because I am loving, you have reason to hope. Because I keep my promises, you have reason to hope. Let that hope become the light that guides your steps, the strength that carries you through difficult seasons, and the joy that no disappointment can permanently steal. As you leave this series, do not think of it as the end of a conversation. Let it become the beginning of a deeper walk with me. Seek me daily. Trust me continually. Love others generously. Live with humility. Keep your eyes fixed upon what is eternal rather than what is temporary. And whenever you feel uncertain, remember this simple truth. I remain with you. I will continue leading you. I will continue strengthening you. I will continue shaping you into the person I created you to become. My faithfulness will never fail, and my love will never come to an end. If these messages have encouraged your heart from beginning to end, comment, I will follow the Lord. Let your words become a declaration of faith and a source of encouragement to someone else who is seeking hope today. And if this series has blessed your life, please like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with someone who needs to be reminded of God's unfailing love. If you feel led to help this ministry continue sharing biblical encouragement with people around the world, you can support it through the link provided below. Your generosity helps these messages reach hearts that are searching for hope, peace, and truth. May you walk forward with confidence, remain rooted in faith, overflow with love, and live each day in the assurance that the Lord who called you is faithful, and He will never leave you nor forsake you. Amen.